Mr. Mayor, I was just doing a practice rehearsal of your speech today.
I hear, and I thank you, Harry. Good morning.
How are we doing, Mayor?
We're doing fine. We are just now, in about 15 minutes, going to be boarding 3 or 4 buses of citizens, police, fire, interested people from Atlantic City heading up to Trenton for this hearing. And you'll hear from myself and Council Presidents of the PBA, the International Association of Firefighters. You'll hear from the NAACP, from the faith-based communities of how bad this bill is and how unfair it is. I had an op-ed piece in about 10 of the state's newspapers this morning, just giving you the facts. And Harry, you're absolutely right. There are 2 things that we didn't do: sell the water company and kill our police department. But we are on board and continue to be on board with every suggestion that the state makes, either through the local finance board or through our monitor.
Mayor, let me drill you down on that just for a second, because I know what you've said on this program. I know what you've said on your Ask the Mayor program here monthly on WPG, and op-eds that you've written and other places that you have both spoken in public and in other electronic media and so on, social media, you name it. You have said this, but I don't think the media, I don't think it has broken through. Certainly the other side, the state, is not going to admit to it, but I think you have the truth as an affirmative defense. Every time they beat you down with "you're not listening" and "you guys have mismanaged the city," and "we don't know if Mayor Guardian is a part of the problem or the solution," so they kind of give you a chance, to redeem yourself, but only if you go the full route of the takeover is my sort of read of that. But the story is that the state has been there in partnership every state of the way. So if hypothetically you all have failed, then they have failed. Fair?
Yeah, very fair. And the reason that we're in this trouble right now, just this minute, is because we had benchmarks that the city had to perform that we did in 2015, and the state said you have to put $45 million in the budget, and we will redirect funds from the casinos, and then they didn't do that. And they told us, walk away from Borgata because we're going to be bringing in the big boys, and we're going to negotiate a deal, and we're going to restructure your debt. So the 3 things they promised us, redirection of funds, they denied, and they weren't able to either find a negotiated settlement with Borgata or restructure our debt. So we're not calling them the enemy. We're just saying, well, come back to the table. You got to fix these things, and we'll continue to do whatever we can to cut costs. We get it. To bring in new money, we get it. To make sure that the amount of expenses is less than the amount of income, and eventually get down to the point where we've got to have a tax break, not a tax increase.
Mayor, you, in a very good Press of Atlantic City article on this topic, you are reported to have said that the mayor, that would be you, and city council are basically, I don't think this was the exact words, but you said these words on our show, arm in arm together in terms of before accepting these punitive, I don't know what to call them, these harsh, measures of them being able to disband your police department and order you to sell your utility, your water company, to order you to, whatever, or to have the authority to tear up collective bargaining agreements, so on and so forth, that you are on record, unless you correct it now, as saying that you and city council, you are prepared to go the route of filing for bankruptcy before accepting those terms. Is that accurate, and does it still stand right now?
Absolutely. This city and its citizens do not deserve the state to destroy Atlantic City the way they destroyed Camden a few years ago. Unconstitutional. It befuddles the mind because you're making a joke out of the dignity of the working man, their right to collective bargaining. And we're going to stand firm on this. We're willing to do all of the financial tough decisions that need to be made. We understand the state wants additional oversight over all those decisions, and that's fine. But the draconian measures to do what the state has never done. They did it in 1871 to Jersey City, and they changed the state constitution, making it illegal for the state to take over a home rule. They've never done that before. They shouldn't be doing it to Atlantic City now.
Mayor, you're going to be testifying, and as you mentioned, others, interested parties, will be testifying today before the New Jersey Senate Appropriations and Budget Committee. What are you hoping to accomplish today?
I think we're, for the first time, able on one-on-one to get our message across. So for those people that are saying absolute incorrect information, whether they're saying we have the highest paid police department in the country when we don't even have the highest paid police department in Atlantic County, or that police and fire haven't been willing to make cuts, or the city hasn't been willing to make cuts, or that this problem is a bloated city rather than the 70% of assessed values that we have lost, that's the message that we want to get across. And we want to make sure that they know that everyone down here is working together saying, stop it. This isn't right. This is a time for the state to come in and help the city like they do 35 other cities without question. This isn't the time for the state to act like a bully.
Mayor, I know you got to run. Last question. We'll get you out of here. If nothing more than the first deal is the only deal, we take it over, we take over the MUA, we can sell it if we want, we can lease it if we want, we can disband your police department, we can tear up all collective bargaining agreements, we can do whatever we want, we have it all, we're taking over the city. If that is the only way that financial help from the state will come, and as of right now, in this high-stakes sort of political game of chicken, that appears to be their hard and fast stance, and that they don't look really to negotiate from that point. So if that were to stand, what would you do in 3 weeks when the city is broke?
Sure. So first of all, we're going to stop paying all the money that we owe to the state. Then we're going to stop paying our debt payment, and we're going to force every city and the county and the state not to be able to bond because they're being foolish. Harry, in the end, the state has to come in and bail out Atlantic City. The question is, do it wisely and redirect casino funds to be able to do that, or be foolish and force the taxpayers all over New Jersey to come in and bail us out. The bottom line is we're going to be here, and we're going to take the legal actions we have to if the state legislature acts unconstitutionally. It's certainly unethical. And then we've got to make sure that everyone in New Jersey has a list of every senator and assembly who's voting against police and fire, voting against collective bargaining, voting against civil rights, and we got to make sure we take these guys out in the next election. Because those are not the people that we need to represent the residents.
Mayor, absolute last follow-up. Mayor, I want to squeeze this in because it's been sent to me by a number of people, concerned people, and not necessarily against you or your stand. But they're citing to me some Office of State Legislative Services 1947 rule where the state could lock you up if you don't do what they say. They could lock up the members of city council. Do you think this could escalate to where it literally they would send state police to come and get certain people? Do you think it could get that bad?
I'm going to stand on my ethical decisions on what's right for the people, and if I need to serve time in jail in order to defend them, I'm very happy to do that. But I'm not turning my back on my police, my fire, the residents of Atlantic City. It's a political decision that I'm not willing to make. Mayor,
when time permits, I know you're busy, but get back to me maybe tomorrow or something so we can just get together on what happens today. And I wish you well. May the wind be at your back.
Thank you very much, Harry. God bless you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. You too. We'll be back in 90 seconds. We'll get in at least one call, and it will be you because you were patient and you waited. It will be you when we come back. Don't go away. It's Hurley in the Morning. John Zarek on deck. And then we have the Atlantic City. This is perfect. We had the mayor on, city purpose side. And then we will have the president of the Board of Education and the interim superintendent. He's a really great guy. And the reason I know that is I know his reputation. And I know he did not come here looking for headlines. He came here to do a tough job. Paul Spaventa. And he will be here as well. First visit ever on Hurley in the Morning.